there were 2 questions on one note.
Right.
This is number 4. Okay. All right, this says, can the jury review the dash cam video at the apartment? Yes. So, Mr. Dwayne, get that queued up for me. I will note that this note is not from the person who was identified as the foreperson initially. I don't know that it matters particularly, but I think that I'm going to advise them to, that the foreperson needs to communicate each juror's request to me going forward. Does anybody have any objection to that? I think that's just proper. So I'm just going to say we will get that set up.
Maybe somebody else is taking over.
Maybe this, you know, so. I just wrote, we'll get that set up. Communication should be from the foreperson. The foreperson should communicate the rest of should communicate requests of the other jurors as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, I don't think it's significant particularly, but it is. I don't usually. Take that note back to them and tell them we're getting the video set up. We'll pull them out in just a minute to watch it. Yeah, they don't need to come in. This is the one with the less than stellar sound, right? So.
And I was on team, we're just waiting for one to get up here
And we also forwarded, we skipped some, you have the notes. Okay, so for the record, this is the body cam video of Officer Wichita. When it was played for the jury during the trial, the parties consented to skipping some sections. We're going to only play what they saw during the trial initially. I think there's a fair amount of dead time in the video. And so Ms. Holland will make sure that we do that and note that in the same way. Let me check that. There's wind, which is being picked up by the officer's body mic. So the sound is not great. So if you will play a few minutes and let's make sure we've got it as good as we can get it before we bring them in.
Judge, could we also caution the jurors that even though they're seeing this a second time, to not take.
Right, they consider all the evidence.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's as good as it gets.
They tried to.
I was the person there. I was there with them.
Yeah.
Well, I was there with
They know well, I know they're all.
All right, that's just as good as it's gonna get. All right, you can bring the jury in. Lumsden, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna watch the, I took the note to mean the body cam video. That's the one we want to see, right? Okay. So we're gonna watch that now. Go ahead, Ms. Holly.
He had been, allergic reaction, I guess, to video or something, so, and then the next day he started complaining about, I mean, hurt, I'm hurt. He's laying on with it. He's falling up to everywhere with my heart, and he's falling up. But nothing would have made you then. You know, a regular people don't feel good. Rushes to the doctor right there, I went for clothes, and the body issues, and they tried to.
I was the person there. I was there with them. Well, I was there with,
They know, well, I know they're all broken.
and they were all pretty distraught.
They've all been, since day one, a part of the regular issues. I never have to ask. When I go in there, what they automatically know.
Let me grab the phone. So, are you dad or you dad? Okay. So dad, the EMT that showed up? Okay. What's his name? I am. Mom said that or auntie. What's his name? What's the first name?
Ambrose, we also work in the house.
You know what his birthday is?
November 27th, sorry, December 27th, 1990.
Okay. You know where he is?
Yes, he lives right next to the fire department on Kimberly. That's what he lives in Kimberly Circle. Right here, station number 6. Right.
Oh, okay, over by all the
Yes, like right in that little, some townhomes right over
You know
there.
what the address is over there?
Hey, what's your address? 230 Caitlin Circle. Kathelyn Circle. You know, Roberts, Georgia? 3108. Okay. I'm waiting on the cop that can over there because we can't go in and look at the house, I guess, or whatever. Mine. I thought you.
What's Mr. Ambrose phone number so you guys call out?
I remember it is 478
Yes, ma'am.
978 7199.
Okay. Thank you. I forgot to get his information earlier. So, what's that?
He was so peaceful.
Did you?
So, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Oh, yes, he was. was one time. I to let you know, I had to yell at him.
Oh, I know.
Because he was sniffing the tailpipe of the ambulance, and I actually talked to the EMT after. He goes, I thought you were trying to pull him over. I said, at one point I was, and I was like, no. They got an ambulance in front of me, behind me, nobody's going to go in between.
I'm sorry. I'm here work so far, and I was trying so hard to get here.
That's what we were saying about here primarily, and I was trying to do around that they don't hold it because of it passing. At that point, that's a least year discharge. You like police officer?
Oh, yes, now.
I don't want you to cry. I'm going to give you one of our little stickers. Please put it in. Is that what you want to run? Okay. See where the table is? I'm messing with one of the time.
Sure you had it.
And they come to accident stuff all.
Exactly. And that's why I say my baby knows. Every firefighter is walking. You think he's a firefighter? I do.
Give me this way, okay? I'll make time juvenile because we contact out the juvenile and then run with everything. So, we're going to get out here and so it's legal, but you know, it's like a house. home. Unfortunately, I've dealt with stuff like this quite a few times, and it won't keep you until a day and maybe a week or two. And then all of a sudden, you'll be able to agree. But let me preface that by also saying, know that if you start feeling depressed, so that different sources. Okay? So you did let him go?
I let him go.
You have to know the Bahamas, man.
And he loved it over there. And now they're like grateful that they got me on the last time. Like, it wasn't what they would thought that
don't forget, they get cases from everywhere in Georgia. GBI is like the FBI for Georgia. So, literally, like, we get DUIs, we get blood from somebody, it goes to the GBI crime lab. They get shell casings, they get guns, they get all sorts of different stuff that they have to process and do. And unfortunately, there's other scenarios like this that happen across the state, so they have to take some kind of high profile case that happens where they need to get that done for whatever reason. Pretty much.
I was so late that they changed the sheets when I moved to the bed, but I did four walls, the bed, on the couch, over here. I'm hoping that he didn't like that movement.
When Sergeant Collins gets over here, they're also going to have our tracking unit for you. So they're going to do that. And they process thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of tracking. So they know what they're doing.
when he got back from the trip, he got tested for COVID, he came back negative.
After he started getting sick again, y'all get him tested again or no?
No, so. Since October, he went to the on October 19th.
And when you get back?
He got back on the 23rd.
Okay.
And
That wasn't too long.
it wasn't long. Since he's been back, like I said, I got home. He really hasn't been like talking. He's been quiet. And I didn't think anything other than that I kind of thought maybe he's like my boyfriend. Maybe he just don't want to be around, you know? Certain kids feel kind of way when their mom is
Talking to somebody else.
yes, that he is coming at you.
He's kind of walking like the plastic thing with these.
And I told her, I was already down, I was like 14, so I was saying, oh, it was wrong, you know, always on the night, whatever, like, playing sport, and my coach said, hey, you contact me out, let her know.
Now, I left the house before it was 30 degrees.
Yes,
I left the house this morning at 4:45, 4:50. It's still about 40 degrees. Because I had to go off the Moody Road there for they hit a deer. Had to go up move the deer on the road.
they push my dreams come down Monday and Wednesday.
So you worked at Mill County High School and?
I work at the prison college.
Okay.
And I do the enrollment program for the high school.
Okay.
So they send me to the high school that they are in over. I raised with Jones, but they hired somebody that they can send me to the Roberts one and the Jones.
So they're saying either more outside school and those guys?
We're on high school and the house kind of very badly.
Okay, yeah.
So I go there and I do classes for the general high school.
Now, what kind of classes?
I'm actually got hired on to be a science teacher, teaching programming, and jigging.
All right.
trying to give you guys time. I know it's a big situation, stress levels up and all that. So we try to give y'all guys space at the same time. I'm doing our deal. But as part of this kind of thing comes up, we have to do things like that. Things necessary to collect, that sort of thing. Requires one or two things. Requires your consent from you guys, or requires one from the search. Usually that's the way it goes. I have to advise you, y'all don't have to live in that one. I have to go. So I just really you're legal rights. I apologize for being out of forms, so I just handwritten one. Just sent over the House County Sheriff's Office, and I agree. I said, hi, you'll preach your name, you live here, good sir. You don't live here. Just you here. Okay. You have any problem with you? Well, it's all right. But anyway, preach name here. Ladies home, or I let you be the same there. They give the House County Sheriff's Office or on the police department send certain residents to play any item related to this case and today any necessary photos. I understand I have the right to withdraw the scene at any time and request a search warrant be sought. Print and sign. That's all we want to do. You guys are put.
Hey, I just want to let you know,
Ladies and gentlemen, I got your note about foreperson, and you may resume your deliberations. Thank you. All right, as they were, just a second. As they were coming in, they sent me a note, they have changed forepersons. And it's signed by both the former and the new, so that is clear. All right, let me see counsel up here. All right, We'll stand in recess till we hear from them.
All right.
And you know, I didn't know y'all, but that was states 14.
Correct. Correct.
We said what it was, but I don't think anybody said the exhibit number, so it states 14 for the record. All right, y'all may see it. The jury has sent out a note that they are deadlocked. They did not include a count. I am inclined, obviously I'm going to Allen charge them. I am inclined to ask them without which way, but just ask them for a count. Because I think it matters if they're 6-6 or 3-9 or what have you. Or I can just read the Allen charge and we can wait on that.
If we are to inquire as to the count, I think we should also inquire in the count, meaning what the vote is between the 12, as to if it's specific to a count, if they have reached a verdict on any count.
I agree. Are they deadlocked on all 7 counts? And if so, without telling me which way, what is the count? Are we comfortable with that?
Yeah, what is the vote for count?
What is the, yes.
And Judge, I'm okay with that. We did that with Judge, on occasion I had Judge Adams, and it's the first time that, because the foreperson of the jury volunteered what the count was.
Right, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
And I don't have a problem.
And it is certainly improper for me to inquire which way. I just am interested, because I think in evaluating how much longer I ask them to deliberate, that is relevant information for us to consider, and whatever, however y'all want to proceed. So, all right, it just says, are you deadlocked on all 7 counts? And without telling me which way, please tell me that count. By that, I mean how many one way, how many the other way. Does that make sense? All right, let's send that out and sort of see where we are. I'm going to pull up the Allen charge. I know that there was, at least as to some counts in some opinion yesterday, a juror who had indicated that they were not going to change their mind, but I still think it is probably appropriate to Allen charge them before we make any decisions. All right, they are deadlocked on all the counts. The numbers are not the same on all the counts. They range from 11-1 to 7-5. So I'm gonna Allen charge them and we'll see. But it sounds like, and count 1, they're 3-9, count 2, they're 4-8, count 3, they're 9-3, count 4, they're 11-1, count 5, they're 7-5, count 6, they're 7-5, count 7, they're 11-1. So, bring them in for me, please. I'm probably going to check back with them for lunch at 12:30, 12:45, if we've not ladies and gentlemen, you've now been deliberating on this case for a period of time, and I think it's proper, based on your notes to me, to advise you further in regard to the desirability of an agreement if possible. The case has been exhaustively tried by both sides. It's been submitted to you for decision and verdict if possible, and not for disagreement. It's the law that a unanimous verdict is required. And while this verdict must be the conclusion of each juror and not a mere acquiescence of the jurors in order to reach an agreement, it is nevertheless necessary for all jurors to examine the issues and questions submitted to them with candor and fairness and with a proper regard for and deference to the opinions of each other. A proper regard for the judgment of others will greatly aid us in forming our own judgment. Each juror should listen to the arguments of the other jurors with a disposition to be convinced by them. If the members of the jury differ in their view of the evidence, the difference of opinion should cause all of them to scrutinize the evidence more carefully and re-examine the grounds for their opinions. Your duty is to decide the issues submitted to you if you can conscientiously do so. In conferring, you should lay aside all mere private opinion and bear in mind that the jury room is no place for taking up one side or the other of a cause or maintaining a spirit of controversy either side of the cause. You should bear in mind at all times that as jurors you should not be advocates for either side. You should keep in mind the truth as it appears from the evidence examined in light of the instructions of the court. I'm going to ask you to retire to the jury room for a reasonable time, examine your differences in a spirit of fairness and candor, and try to arrive at a verdict. I will also tell you that if you have a verdict on some counts and not other counts, if you will notify the court of that. All right? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll ask you to step back to the jury room. If you need a break, you may ask for one. Just let the bailiff know, but please remember not to talk about the case unless all 12 of you are in the room. Okay?
see the response.
I'm not gonna share the response because they did not, follow my instructions exactly about which way the count went.
All right.
So y'all can ask me if you think differently, but I don't think it's proper for you to know which way the count is at this time. And I'll be glad to tell you what the count is on each charge again, if that's helpful.
That would be helpful.
Okay. So on count 1, it was 3-9. Count 2, 4-8. Count 3, 9-3. Count 4, 1-11. Count 5, 7-5. Count 6, 7-5. Count 7, 11-1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. We'll take a recess. We'll hear from them further, or if I've not heard from them by about 12:45.
The lights on.
Okay. Bob,
I'm sorry.
my guess is they're going to take a break. They've not had one this morning.
Want to smoke break, Judge?
That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen in the gallery, we're going to take a break. Please make sure that you are not talking about the case in their presence or anywhere where they might overhear you. Make sure you're steering clear, okay? We'll take a recess until we hear your further.
All rise.
With y'all. All right. Bring them in, please. Are y'all comfortable with me excusing alternates?
Yes, ma'am.
You mean excusing them outright? No.
No? Okay.
I mean, if they sometimes.
That's fine.
Maybe not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let you take a lunch break. It's 12:25. I'm going to ask you to be back about 1:30-ish. If you're back before that, all 12 of you, you can start deliberating whenever all 12 of you are back. If somebody's late, don't start until everybody's back, okay? I know I've said it, but I say it every time. Don't talk about the case. Don't let anybody talk about it with you. Don't review any of the TV coverage or what have you. Go get a sandwich, and we'll be looking for you to come back about 1:30. We'll stand in recess, or y'all can be excused. You guys hang on. Y'all can be excused. Go ahead and get him out, and I'm going to let him get that meeting started. Okay. They want to, the foreperson handed the bailiff a note on the way out the door for lunch. This is, I think this is 8 because the lunch was 7, I think. No, it's 8 and 9, I think. I don't know. They want to watch the video from the 18th. This was the interview. I'm not sure. Is he still out there?
Who? The
The
foreman?
Foreman. Because it says this was the interview question mark, and I don't know if he's wanting to say first or last or some other descriptive. And I want to make sure I know what he wants. If he's still out there, ask him to step in here. Because it goes on to say we would prefer to have this ready once we're done with lunch. So I want to have it queued up. Um,
11:18 was the first interview.
The 18th?
Yeah, November 18th.
Yeah.
It's the first one, Judge.
All right, so, the bailiff confirmed that. Next time, bring him in here and let me ask the question, just so that we make sure nobody said anything they shouldn't have said. But the bailiff confirmed that the 18th, the first interview, is what they want to watch. So let's, the body cam video needs to go back to the court reporter if it's still in the thing. And then y'all go ahead and get that queued up for me.
State 62.
Yeah, so that's going to be state 62. And we'll watch that. Y'all be back about 1:15 so that we can get in here and get that done. The bailiffs can go to lunch in shifts so that we can, you and Bob just, okay? All right, we'll stand in recess. Oh, wait. One other thing. We had some discussion, the lawyers and I had some discussion in chambers about whether or not they were entitled to know the count, well, which way the count was going, based on the note that the jurors sent out. I'm going to stand by my ruling on that issue, and in doing that, I'm relying on some language in Smith v. State, which is a Supreme Court case, 302 Georgia 717, which also references Sears, which is 270 Georgia 838. So just for the record, I shared all of the contents of the note except for which way the count was going, and candidly, it was not identified using the terms guilty and not guilty, but was identified in other ways from which I think that is would be the only conclusion the parties could draw, and I don't think that's proper. But I did share the count as the discharge, which I think the parties are entitled to know, and we've responded accordingly. So let's make sure that light's off every time we take a note from them, and we'll stand and recess until 1:30.
Yes, ma'am.
And y'all make sure you're back so that we can
We'll get it taken care of.
play that video as soon as they're all back. So maybe a few minutes before 1:30 in case they're fast. We'll bring them in and watch this video. You can bring them in.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen.
gentlemen, you have requested the opportunity to review this video, so we're going to play this for you now for the record. This is State's Exhibit 62.
Well, so we're trying to get through this and you gotta keep being with it, okay? Straight on one at a time. There's no need some water or something, we gotta. So again, we're sorry and do us a while, okay? We just gotta get through it. Really, I'd like to just, I know that, you know, we talk a lot yesterday about him being sick, his stomach, and things like that. Could you tell me when that started?
Friday, I picked him up from daycare. And he was complaining slightly about his stomach, but he said it once and didn't say anything else. So the next morning, Saturday morning, he woke up and he had this bump in his eye, on the side of his eye, and two under it. And he was just rubbing it, so I was just like, he's so used to having allergic reactions that I just thought it was another allergic reaction. So when he rubbed it, the eye swelled up, and I gave him some Mistrial, and he was taking Mistrial all day Saturday, every 6 hours, all day Sunday, every 6 hours. And then on Sunday, I cooked dinner, and he was happy, nothing was wrong. He ate, and then after he ate that night, I put him in bed. He usually washes his cars. And he said, "Oh, my stomach hurts. My stomach hurts." And I said, "Okay, baby, just lay down." And
No, what time?
that was Sunday night.
Okay.
He started throwing up. And it's not uncommon for him to do it. He's been to the doctor multiple times. But just randomly just throwing up all over the place. So I didn't think anything of it when he started throwing up. That it was just a virus. I did what they always tell you to do, give him some Pedialyte, make him lay down. I went to work on Monday.
How many times you think through
Once on his little beanbag, on the floor, on the couch. We walked around the house for a little bit. I gave him a bath because he was all nasty. And as soon as I gave him a bath, he threw up again. So I told him I said, "Just go lay down." Stop giving him juice. Gave him some Pedialyte. Put him in bed that night on Monday. He threw up in the bed. And that was alarming because whenever he threw up, he did it when he was awake. And so he never done it when he was sleeping. And I should have known.
Well, you couldn't know.
Monday night, I went in the room. And I saw he had threw him on himself. And so I picked him up. And I took his shirt off and I put him in the other bed. He had two beds in his room. And when I moved him, he kind of whined like I was hurting him. And I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "Okay." He said, "My stomach hurts." My stomach hurts. I said, "Okay, baby, just go back to sleep." I said, "You'll feel better in the morning."
Can you tell me about what that was?
Probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so middle of the night?
Yeah.
Monday night?
Yeah. I got up for work that morning. And I went in the room to check on him. And he was kind of laying off the bed. And so I pushed him back on the bed. And he kind of nudged me in the wrong person. And that's when I said, "Are you okay, baby?" He said, "What's up?" I said, "You want to go lay down with Kiyon? That's my boyfriend." He said, mom. And I kissed him and I told him, and he was just waiting. I know it's wrong, I swear. I'm so cautious during this time because during this time of year he always gets sick. He has a lot of respiratory issues, so I'm so cautious. If something was wrong, I would have known, I would have saw it. He was just laying there. He said, "Bye, mommy." He gave me a kiss. I left.
Was he having any breathing issues at all? No breathing issues?
No, I put my hand on his back when I gave him a kiss. I know when he had breathing issues, I'm used to it.
Right.
So, I went to work. I work in Jones County.
And you left about what time?
I left at 7:15.
Okay.
I got to Jones County around 8:30, 8:15. I stopped and got gas. I went to the school. I was there for about 10 minutes when my boyfriend called me. He said, "Karter he was weak. He was weak." And he was on FaceTime with me the whole time. He said, "He's breathing weird." I said, "Well, just go get his treatment and just give him a treatment."
At what time did you say he called you?
This is about 9. Because I didn't enter my class. I have a class at 9:30. I was gone from Jones County before the class even started, so it was between 9 and 9:30.
Okay. So did you see him on the video?
I did. And
How was he when you saw him on the
he was
video?
looking dead at me, that's why. It just,
So,
I had to see his chest. I remember I said, "Let me see his chest to see if he was retracted in the middle," because that's what I'm used to doing. And he pulled up his shirt, he wasn't retracted, so I said, "Okay, just give him a treatment." And he said, "He just looks weak." He said, "I'm about to take him to the doctor." I said, "Okay." I said, just get there. And he left. He was on the phone with me the whole time. His doctor's office is literally right beside my house. He raced up there when they were on the phone. All I heard was the doctor's just grabbing him and saying, "He got a pulse now." I was just on the phone just driving. I was trying to get here. I don't know what happened after that. All I know is that they told me to meet him and Madison. I got to Madison. That's what it is.
I understand. Going back just a little bit. You said that was around 9.
Yes.
Okay. But you're not exactly sure of the time?
I'm almost positive it had to be around 9. I got to Jones County at 8:30. I was only in the room by myself, or just not on the phone with anybody. I was by myself getting the class ready for about 15-20 minutes.
Okay. No. So I want you to think about when he called you, video called you, and showed him to you. Can you describe it to me? Was he making noises?
He didn't
Was
make
he
any noises. He was talking.
He was
He
talking?
was talking. He had the mask on his face, so I really couldn't hear anything. The mask is the breathing machine is going, but he looked at me and nothing.
So he was already on the breathing machine?
He was on the breathing machine.
When he called you?
Now he called me. He wasn't on it when he called me, but he said he's not breathing on me. I said, just get him the breathing treatment. I told him where it was. It was in the laundry room at the top of the counter on the top, and I said, just get it and give him a treatment. I said, give him the phone because he takes 2 different ones.
So he said he wasn't breathing?
He said he wasn't breathing regularly.
Okay.
That's why I asked to see his chest.
But you said he was talking?
He was talking. Before that, he said that I wasn't there. So, I mean, during the process, I heard him. He was talking. Something was wrong. If I would have thought something was wrong, there's just no way that I would have even said not do the breathing treatment. That's always my first step, do the breathing treatment. And that after that, I normally just check the breathing. If it's not right, I go straight to the doctor and I let them do the treatments and do the steroids and everything there. I'm never.
When's the last time he's had any kind of breathing attack?
He got a virus a couple months back. But
When did he have to be treated for that?
he had to get a steroid shot. They usually just give him a shot immediately because if they don't, his O2 levels go down and he wasn't even, I think he was at like a 92 that day. So they just gave it to him because they know how bad he gets. The entire doctor's office is very aware of Karter and all of his issues.
Yes. Could you have your phone? Can I ask you to give me the time that you called me?
Not 15.
Called you 9:15?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where was he at when he called you?
No, I'm sorry. This is a FaceTime call. At 8:35, he FaceTimed me.
Okay, all right. 8:35.
I called my boss right after and told her I was sleeping.
So, what room of the house was he in when he called you?
My bedroom.
He was in the bedroom?
Because they were laying in the bed before I left.
Now, I understand that he said something about that he had a bowel movement at some point. Do you know what point that took place?
I wasn't on the phone at that point. He called me right after that, after the bowel movement. That's when I got the call.
Okay. Okay, do you know if he done anything in particular after the bowel movement was
He
in?
called me the whole time. After the bowel movement is when he called me. And that's when it just happened so fast. I wouldn't know.
It's really hard to know what's taking place sometimes.
Do you know if were you on the phone, like cleaning the butt from home?
No.
Okay.
Do you know how he cleaned them up? Okay. And so did Kiyon, right?
Yes.
Right, did he spend the night?
Yes. He been there since Sunday night.
Been there since Sunday night?
Yes.
How long y'all been together?
I've known him for 10 years. We dated. We just started dating in August.
See Katherine now before?
He has his daughter. He has a 3-year-old daughter too. So
Okay.
he comes down and things.
So he's been, does he know the, all the medical issues that he has?
He does. I fully equipped him. That's why he knew what to do. Because I had already shown him once before. When Karter had to take a treatment there, I showed him how to do it. He knew. Everyone around him knew. I made sure that.
So you're on FaceTime with him, I'm sorry to go through it, but you're on FaceTime with him, you see him checks his chest, see he's breathing at his chest.
Nothing about it was, oh, I asked if he was having an asthma attack like he was already having.
Did you, at what point was you on the phone with him the whole time from that point? Or?
The whole time.
Okay. So kind of walk me, if you would, through it best you can. From that point, okay, he called you, he already had had he thrown up anymore after you left?
No.
No? Okay. So he called you, says that he's, what exactly does he say to you when he called you?
He said he was weak.
Okay.
He said he's not breathing normally.
Okay.
So I said, let me see. That's why I said, let me see, because he said he's not breathing normally. And I know when my child is about to go on respiratory distress.
Okay. But you didn't think that's,
No.
okay. So that was in the bedroom?
Yes, he was in the bedroom. He already had a mask on. He was doing treatment a picture and show
So
me.
he already had the mask on?
Yes.
But he didn't have the mask on when he talked?
No, so he ran about the mask,
Okay,
put the mask on, I walked him through. I went out at this point, private.
yes, ma'am.
I'm driving in the car, I'm still on the phone the whole time.
And what was he wearing?
A yellow shirt.
So, he's in the bedroom on the floor, he said?
No, he's on sitting on the
He's
bed.
on the bed? Okay. That's where he's getting breathing treatment?
That's where he was getting treatment.
Okay.
He had the mask on. He showed him to me and said, let me see him. I said, you okay, baby? I said, let me see his chest.
So he answered you when he asked you to okay?
But it was very fake because he had his mask on. But he did like this.
Okay. How long do you think, I know it's a tough question, but how long do you think after he called you that he had the mask on the bed and you saw him talking? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
It wasn't 5 minutes. It wasn't that long.
Okay,
It
so
happened so fast.
you just within a few minutes of him calling?
Within a few minutes, because he called me because he was weakening and he said, he's not breathing on, so I immediately said, go get the treatment. I didn't ask any questions or anything before he put the mask on.
Was he, who had the shirt on and the pants on?
He had, when I left, he had on everything was in his hands, so.
When he was in the bed, was he wrapped up? Was he just on top of the covers?
He was wrapped up, he threw up on the covers.
But that was, and he threw up on the covers at what point?
That was when he was in the bed before I moved him.
Before he moved?
Yes, he didn't throw up again when I got up that morning for work.
Did he eat anything at all other than I know y'all sleeping together? He did like,
He wouldn't eat, he wouldn't drink anything, but that's his normal whenever he was throwing up like that. He doesn't even like Pedialyte, so I wasn't even surprised that he wouldn't really drink that. He would drink the juice though. And I stopped giving it to him because that's what he was throwing up.
do you know what he ate all weekend?
I cooked beef tits and rice on Sunday. Saturday, he just had macaroni and normal. And then we went Saturday, we went to my granddaddy's house. And I cooked dinner on with my granddaddy. He was fine. He was walking around, running around with his toys, nothing out of the ordinary. Other than that morning when his eye was swollen, he was on Mistrial that whole day because he was still.
And tell me about what, it was a Sunday morning that he had, or Saturday?
Saturday morning when his eye got swollen.
Okay, so,
And we usually wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning because we're still on my work schedule, so we won't still get up early. So as soon as we woke up, is when I noticed the bump on his eye, and he was just rubbing it.
that was around 6 o'clock Saturday?
No, 6 o'clock Saturday.
So he didn't have it Friday?
No.
Okay. Now, can you describe the bumps to me?
It almost looked like not a sty, but it was right here in the corner of his eye. It was not a small circle, it was noticeable and it was puffy. And then he had two kind of under his eye, but they were a little bit smaller in size. But when he was rubbing his eye, it instantly swelled, like it was shut. Like it would have been a drill.
Did it look like bites or did it look like just
That's what I thought. I thought it was bites. It didn't look like a pimple because it didn't look like it had pus in it or anything.
So he rotated me and swelled up.
Like it would have been a drill.
The night before, versus the night before when he had beef tips and rice, he had anything
No,
else
that was, he had beef tips and rice on Sunday.
on Sunday?
Sunday night. I cooked it.
Saturday was a beef roni.
Yes. And we also stayed at my grandfather's house, so we had, I was over there in my cook Saturday, we had, sheep steak and mashed potatoes.
What do y'all have on Friday?
Friday, you probably say to me, probably I didn't cook.
And
It was Saturday. It was funny.
is that at your grandma's house?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. So you said Saturday morning he had the bones and he threw up in his eye swell and he gave him Mistrial. Did it reduce the swelling?
Yes.
So
We took a nap.
okay.
We went to my grandfather's house at 12. He took a little nap at the house. Because I gave him Mistrial, so it kind of made me sleepy. We got up and we started at 12:15, 12:30. And I went over there and he went back to sleep because that's his normal nap time. So I made him go to bed. And I cooked.
I'm sorry, what time did you get back home?
On Saturday, I'm not sure. It was after 5.
Okay. But you went to your granddad's at what time?
At 12:15, 12:30.
And that was on
Saturday.
Saturday. So, while you were at the so before you left for the grandfather's house, was I like back to normal?
Yes. Not back to normal,
Well,
but it went down.
it went down.
Yes.
Was it swollen at all while you were at the
It was
grandfather's
still
house?
swollen, just not. One of the things that you had to know is I was swollen for you to notice that it was swollen. A couple weeks before that, he ate a bag of chips. And I got swollen again. And they gave him something for that.
What kind of chips?
Sour cream and onion. And it was strange because I bought him a bag and he had never ate that kind of before. When he eats all the other chips in the bag and he's never had a reaction to it. And when he ate that bag of chips for 5 minutes, his lip, his face, everything was just swollen. I'm trying to like, go get you from the doctor. Here it is.
Would you mind saying that to me? Can you send that, like all regular pay tablets, pay for everything? Say that word, you know, you want. What allergies do you know that he has?
They haven't tested, and that has been my problem. Every time I've asked for him to be tested for allergies, and they kept saying he's too young. I know when he was smaller, he couldn't drink regular milk. I couldn't just use the regular baby milk cans. He had to go to soy milk because the regular baby milk was making him vomit all the time. So, and they wouldn't even switch his milk. I had to get his milk switched just on my own. I just decided to change it to the soy because it just wasn't working. And he went switch it over. He went test them.
They ever had a reaction to anybody like second smoke, anybody smoking around?
We don't smoke around him. He has.
Do you know if he's ever had a reaction to?
No. He's only had a reaction to the chips, his brain reactions to the milk, then the viruses. Anytime he gets sick with the virus, he always goes respiratory distress. Every time. But we started when he was 1, the day after his birthday. We spent
think of anything else he's had in recorrection to?
The one I don't even know if he has that I had reaction to because he had just woke up, so it was very random.
Had any new medication that weekend at all?
No,
Other than therapy?
no.
What medication is he on, other than breathing?
He takes an allergy medicine that's prescribed from his doctor. Just that it's kind of like cleansing. He takes that once a day. 5 milligrams, and he takes budesonide once in the morning, once during the season, once in the morning, once in the evening, and that'll be raw if he starts having breathing issues every 4 hours.
No inhaler?
No, he has an inhaler, but he doesn't like it. He just uses the breathing treatment.
You know if the inhaler was tried at all?
Yeah, I tried the inhaler. He just
I'm talking about that one.
no.
Okay.
No, I immediately sent it to the breathing treatment because I already knew he wasn't going to do the inhaler. He doesn't like it.
So that's one. I need to back up a little bit to where you were on the phone. Okay. So you're on the phone. He's in the bedroom on the bed. You're leave at that point or some point, and then you say you were driving. Okay.
As soon as he told me that he was not breathing okay, or was not breathing normally, I ran out of Jones County.
Okay. Did you see at what point he moved him or from the bed anywhere else?
Because he put the phone down, to go get the treatment out of the laundry room where I told him, Carter, I just went on the bed. Couldn't see anything because at that point I was driving, trying to get
Sure.
to him. I just know that I told him, I said, let me see him.
Did you see him anymore after that on the phone? Do you know at what point he left the house?
Within the breathing treatment, he gave him the breathing treatment, and while he was doing the breathing treatment, I don't even remember what he said. I just know that he said, no, something's not right, and he said, I'm taking it. He took the breathing treatment off, he ran out the door. I was on the phone the whole time.
Okay.
I'm sure my neighbors, they have like a little ring.
Yeah.
Radio, so you can watch it.
That's fine. We just have to figure out the timeline of everything, that's all. Think by yourself, right? You said, that is who you see.
I knew every time he would get sick or throw up that that's not normal. They kept saying it might be a stomach virus. It could be a stomach virus.
When was that last time you had a stomach virus?
It was this year.
Do you know anything that he ate Friday at daycare? Man?
No, I was packing his lunch and usually I don't even know what I packed that day, but usually it's between beef bologna or I work in Fort Robin on Fridays. I don't even know if I picked that day, bring him lunch, everything. It's just I didn't think of
Have you went to the store recently for any of that stuff, or is that stuff you had in the cabinet?
because I went to the store maybe a week ago and I got everything he needed for the weekend. his daycare lady, her nephew has the same kind of living treatment, so I trusted her with him. She knows how to give him his treatment if something's wrong. Everyone's just gonna wear all.
But it was kind of sudden because he hadn't had that relationship for a while. And that morning when you left, he was not having any trouble at all breathing. But he was sick as son.
He doesn't even like to lay on his stomach, but he was laying on his stomach.
Has he ever had a bad habit get anything or anything in the house, like under the cabinets, or is there anything around that he could have
No,
drank?
never.
Y'all used any poison or anything in the apartment lately or anything like that?
No.
No blood issues or anything?
I'll usually spray around the doors. During the summertime and stuff, during the wintertime, I don't even try to do it because bugs aren't even out, so we have pest control come by, so, but I usually still, I'm very cautious, so I go around the door edges and,
Has pest control been by lately?
I don't know their schedule, they come once a month, they just, do it on their own.
They come inside?
They usually do come inside. And, spray, and they'll leave their cards, so let me know they've been there.
Can you remember the last time? But you say every month?
I don't think it's every month. They're on a schedule, and I know it's on Fridays for sure. It's the only days that they come by. Because if I ever see any bugs that I have to call and get them to come out and do something, they always be on a Friday when they can come.
Now, I know probably already asked you, but the stomach issues like that, or at least to that severity, has that ever happened like that before?
No. Whenever he started throwing up, of course, he said hurt, but he really just started talking, so this is the first time that he could tell me, his stomach hurts, but he, we still just point. But I knew it was because he throwing up and he just, knew where it was coming from. But he always point to it. So I didn't think it wasn't alarming. That's what he said. For sure. Show me no signs or anything.
I understand. So how, just remind me of the last, I'm sorry, how often when's the last time Kiyon was kicked?
It's been a while since he's been down because I'm in school. So I asked him for a couple of weeks just to not come so I can finish up a project. So last time he's been here, he didn't even keep up because it was on a weekend. But he normally keeps both of them because they're always there together.
So Monday he said he went to work. So who killed? And Monday was he go to the
No, Monday he was with him.
Was with Kiyon all day Monday?
Yes.
At your house? Did they go anywhere?
No, I don't allow that.
Do you know if Kiyon fed anything that day, or did you put out food?
I know I told him that if he, because I cooked Sunday, I said if he's hungry, you give him food that I fixed last night. Give him a little bit because Karter doesn't really like meat, so I told him to mix it. And hide the meat in the rice, and he
Kiyon before any kind of Karter acting weird at all when they
So it
were
was Kiyon himself. We're in the process of high training, and I put the underwear on Karter. He knows not to pee on himself. So I said, put the underwear on him because he's probably peed on himself because of the pull-up. He put the pull-up. He took it off, put the underwear on, and he went to sleep. And he said he still peed on himself. I said, that's weird because Karter knows better. And he just kept peeing on himself.
That was in the day, wasn't it?
And he gave him a copy for himself.
Right.
But I know you know that he has a little underwear that he goes to the potty.
So, what did you leave? What time did you leave for work?
Same time, 7:15.
What time you're out home?
I usually get off at 4:30 because on Mondays and Wednesdays, and Fridays I work in Warner Robins first, and then I head to Jones County. And I leave Jones County around 4:15, so I can get back to Warner Robins and drop off the car to the school and get back home. So I'm home about 5:30.
Kion's pretty much hung out all day at the house with him.
And I FaceTime just in the day, all day like I normally do. Because I have to talk to her all day. He was fine, talking. Hi, Mommy. Did you eat? No. Nothing's wrong.
What was he? How much complaints did he have or something?
To me, just when I woke him up. And then that was just the one time that day. He didn't say anything else that day about his stomach hurting. He said it that one time.
Nothing Monday during the day except when you woke him up.
Just when I woke him up, his stomach hurts.
And was that the two?
No, that was Monday. Because he was throwing up all day Monday. And then Tuesday morning, when I went in the room and I moved him, that's when he said it again. He said, Mommy's stomach hurt me. He had said it twice.
Do you remember when was the first time you were like that?
I wasn't there. And that was what I'm thinking because when I was at the floor, Kiyon had thought that he had just spilled his juice. His car likes to take his top off his juice and throw it everywhere. And I got in the house and I said, no, let's throw it because I could see the spit things in the floor. And I tried to clean my carpet with the carpet cleaner. When I walked in the house, he was laying on the couch and he was sleeping and he woke up when I walked in and there was throws all over him. And that's when I went, gave him a bath because it was nasty. I gave him a bath and it had just happened because the girl was fresh. I went and I gave him a bath and then I put on his clothes and I went in the kitchen and started dinner. And he was right there on my shoulder, and then all of a sudden he just started vomiting again, just more and more vomiting in the kitchen. So I cleaned him up, I took the shirt off. He had vomited more than night until in the middle of the night when I went there and checked up, he had threw up in his bed. And that's when I said, that's odd, because he never throws him in his sleep. He'll throw up in the day, and I didn't give him any more juice or anything.
What was the juice?
It was Hawaiian punch. It was the mango something flavor. It was orange.
Was Kion's daughter there?
That's wrong. She would be, but she's looking for her mom this week because he has full custody of her. She was supposed to go with her mom, so So he left her in Atlanta. Her mom didn't come, we were supposed to go back and get her on Wednesday. So she's grateful that she wasn't here because he would have never made it to the doctor.
I just want to make sure I got this right. So when you got home Monday, he had already thrown up, he was laying on the couch.
He had thrown up while he was laying on the couch, but like I said, he looked like he was waking up from a nap because when I walk in the door, my door chime goes off and he knows when I'm coming home. And as soon as he sat up, he did like this. He said, "Mommy," gave me a big hug. Nothing was wrong. Out of the ordinary, so I just went in the bath and he was, "Mommy, I'm nasty." I said, "I know, baby." He took a bowl bath, played with his toys. I took him out. We went in the kitchen so I could start dinner because he liked to cook with me. And he started throwing up in the kitchen. And I was like, "Okay, baby, go lay down, go lay down." And then that night he ate dinner. And that's what I'm saying. He was fine that night. I think he threw up. He was in his room. I put him in his high chair and we watched cars. And I fed him and we were singing. And nothing was wrong.
No breathing issues at all.
He was smiling, laughing, singing, talking. So I thought he was feeling better. Until the morning, till the middle of the night, and he threw up and I was like, "Okay, maybe he's not feeling better." So I picked him up, I put him on the bed, and he had my both hurting him. And that should have alarmed me, but I just thought maybe his stomach really hurts. So we lay down and I kissed him and we normally, we had this thing where we kiss each other, but we suck on each other's face. So the moment, sort of thing. I did that and he laughed. I went back to sleep for a couple hours. And I immediately got up and checked out.
And what time was that before you talking about?
I normally get up. My alarm was off at 6. I had to get up at 2 or 3 in the morning because I know when I went to lay back down, I only got about 2 more hours of sleep before it was time for me to get up and get ready for work. He was kind of laying off the bed, and I pushed him back over like I normally do. He just moaned. He said, "Oh, his stomach hurt." I said, "Okay, baby, lay down here. You want to go lay with Kiyon?" Because I asked because I was leaving, I had to get ready, and so I was just going to put him in the room with Kiyon. And when I was getting dressed, Kiyon went and got him. And they were laying in bed together. He was laying on his stomach.
You know, wide awake, just trying to sleep.
They're both wide awake. He had got a towel and laid it on his stomach so that if he threw up again, he wouldn't get himself dirty or bed or whatever. And he was just laying there. I walked over before I left. I gave him over kiss. Karter, I put my hand on his back because he was laying on Kiyon's chest and I felt him. He was breathing fine. Gave him a kiss. He said, "Bye, Mommy." And I walked out.
You said you moved from his bed to the other bed somewhere. Did he throw up in that other bed at all?
No, not the bigger bed. He didn't throw it off.
And do you know in his bed what part of his bed he had thrown up in or where the throw was?
The little bed that he was laying on, there was a big circle of just throw juice. His bed is not that big, so it kind of took up that entire middle part of the bed, which is why I moved him, because it was too much to even try to clean that night or do anything with it, so I just put him in the other bed.
Did you sleep at all?
He slept good.
You slept good?
He didn't wake up in the middle of the night. He didn't whine. And he's a crybaby, so normally we're still sleep training and trying to get him used to sleeping in his own bed without me because he normally will sleep with me on weekends. So whenever he comes down, I try to get him to sleep in his own room. And he always, if he wanted me, he'd stand at my door and knock on my door, but lately he's just been getting better at it. So he slept the whole night, didn't whine, only whined when I touched him. It was just when I touched him, but odd, it was just strange because when he was laying down with me, he wasn't complaining about anything. He didn't say he hurt me. He was fine.
So that morning when you got up to start getting ready to work, did he complain at all about some breath? Was he still?
Yes.
Okay.
One time. I said, okay, baby, just lay down. Do you want to go live with Kianna? Mm-hmm.
How long does he normally stay on this when he does the breathing treatments? How long does he normally stay on that?
One of them it takes about 15 minutes to finish. The other one's a little bit longer. But he finishes all of it. He does even, so I would do the breathing treatment because he's used to that one. They give it to him at the doctor's office and at the hospital whenever he goes, so he's just used to sitting on that one.
You were on the phone with him the entire time he was on the breathing machine?
He wasn't on it long. He was not on it long. Because I gave Kiyon just move like, no. No.
You said the other one takes longer. What was the other one?
He on two. He's on budesonide, and then he's on albuterol. The albuterol is the one that takes a little bit longer. It's the bigger one. I think the budesonide takes about 10 minutes, and maybe the albuterol takes 15 or whatever. But I didn't know that when he had the reactions to the viruses, the only thing that will really keep him from having to go to the doctor is like catch it early. I started giving him the allergy medicine, which is why they prescribed it to him with refills, because it just was the only thing that would help prevent his airways from reacting.
What medicine do you give him for that?
Let's see if he is that. It's the first one.
That's interesting. Do you remember the last time he went to his dad's house?
It was recent, the weekend of November the 7th. Yeah, that weekend. Can't remember if it was Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday, Monday.
You contact Dad about them suit.
I did. I called him Monday night and I asked him if he could take off work because I didn't want him to be at the house without one of us because we know his condition and I would just feel better if his dad would have him because he works for the EMT and he's a firefighter, so I just would have felt better if he said that he couldn't take off because he had to work. So, and I couldn't take off from work.
Sure. I do appreciate you talking with us this morning. So, sorry about you having to go through this. I gave you my call yesterday. Okay. You contact me for anything at all. You just call me, okay? Sure we'll talk again. All right. Mr. Davis, we'll talk in a few minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have watched 2 videos. I would just remind you that it's only a portion of all of the evidence that was presented to you. And as you consider your deliberations, you should not emphasize one piece of evidence or the other simply because you've seen these 2 particular videos twice, okay? Keep all the evidence that you've seen in mind and you may return to the jury room. Anything before we recess?
No, Your
All right. All right, we'll stand in recess till we hear from us. Jury, there's 2 parts. Can we take a break? Hang on a second, we're having court reporter difficulties. We want to make sure the record's clear. All right, we have questions from the jurors. Can we take a break? Of course. And then there's a second question, have a juror with a medical issue, how do we proceed? I am inclined to inquire whether they believe further deliberations will be fruitful before we try to figure out what to do about the other stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you both agree?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay. Mr.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Okay, it says you can take a break, but before you do you believe your continued deliberations are likely to result in a unanimous verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. let them take a break, please. Tell them 15 minutes.
All right.
And,
The first one's not
um,
well.
hold on a second. They want to, there's a juror with a medical issue that I need to address. So I'm going to ask them to stay back in the jury room for a second. The rest of them to take a break.
You want them all to stay back there?
No, I want you to take them that note.
Right.
The juror with the medical issue needs to wait in the
Jury.
jury room. The rest of them can go. That note tells them that.
Did they respond to your question?
Yes, I'm sorry. They said that possibly on count 7, not on arrest, but
We take a break.
I should have read it out loud. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the medical issue. I want to make sure that's not emergent. Did not think that it was, but they're real in need of a break. Is the way that was communicated to me. So I want to let them do that. Mr. Ball, bring that last note back to me, please.
I'm sorry, I'll get it back.
Okay. Will you go to the room and take a break? And so I need that note and note what the medical issue is.
Is that juror still back there? You want me to send her out? Or?
All right, so council, I'm sorry for not, this is the last note that I did not read. Number 1, yes, we do need a break. 2, it is possible to get on count 7, nothing else. The rest, no. We will need to address medical issue with 1 juror. Need a break first. Exclamation point. Okay.
Here's
You know
the
what
other
number we're on?
The ladies who.
Yeah, okay. Is it 10 and 11? Okay. I'm going to ask the juror with the medical issue to write that down for me so that they candidly have nothing to do with which juror it is. And we'll just do that. And
Let me find her.
while she's doing that,
Oh, good idea.
and I've just written, please share your medical issue. I don't want to bring you out unless necessary. Give that to her. Counsel, while we're waiting on that, what do we think on the deliberations?
As it relates to what?
Do you want them to continue? Are you asking me to declare a mistrial? So they told us they were deadlocked fairly quickly this morning. They were out a couple more hours. They watched 2 additional pieces of evidence. They were out another 30, 45 minutes after the second piece of evidence. the foreperson indicates the only movement is on one of the 7 counts, and that he characterized as possible, not on the other counts. Mr. Groove?
Judge, our position is we would ask the court to run a mistrial in this case.
All right, Mr. Dwayne?
Well, we had an indication from regardless of what's happened in the past, now they're saying we might be able to reach an agreement at least at 1 count. But we also are waiting the note back from the ill juror, because if the ill juror has to be removed from illness, then we're starting back over again.
I mean, that would be, our position would be, of course, if you're pleased, if one juror is to be removed, then they have to start completely over as to all counts.
Right. And then the question is, well, and I guess it depends on, this is a 7-count indictment. And my recollection is at least 6 of the counts were almost evenly split at the last discussion, including, give me that note back, please. And count 7 last time was an 11-1 count. So you're still, when we talk about are we making progress, that is where we are on that last count. I think it's necessary to hear from the other juror before we make a decision. Probably. Mr. Dwayne, is there something else you want to add on the record?
I am interested in what the response is from the juror.
Will you please step in there and ask her to just say the judge wants to know if you are able to continue? Well, never mind. Okay, let her take a break. Or him, whichever, that juror, I don't know. Counsel, if y'all step up, I don't see any need for this to be. All right, based on the information shared by this juror with regard to their medical issue, it is not something that the court signs at this point, or that the jurors requesting would require substitution. They just needed a break. I think it was more to emphasize their need for a break than that there was a separate issue, which I didn't understand clearly. So, the defense has made a motion for mistrial. Mr. Dwayne, I'll hear any comments you have.
At this point, Your Honor, if, based on what they're telling us, is accurate as to count 7 and the other counts, I don't see us going really anywhere meaningful at this point. So I think at this point, the court probably should grant the mistrial.
All right, I think it is proper to do it with the jury present and for me to inquire on the record whether they're able to reach a verdict or not. So we'll give them a few minutes to get soda and come back up, and then we'll see what they have to say at that time, and barring any additional information, that's probably where we're at. But we'll let them finish their break, and we will wait and inquire at that point and go from there. All right?
Thank you.
So y'all just kind of hang out in here a few minutes while they're open to break, and then we'll go from there. All right. We'll stand in recess till, let's say like, I told them to try to keep it to 10 or 15 minutes, so hopefully 5 or 10 minutes because we've been talking.
All right.
All right, this is my proposed note. Do you believe further deliberations are likely to result in a unanimous verdict on all counts, some, or one count? Can you share the current count without telling me which way, just numbers? And I'll put as to each offense so that we have some idea of what we're dealing with. Because obviously we want a verdict if we can get one, but they have now essentially been out a significant time considering the time it took to present the evidence. And so before we ask them to come back on Monday, I need to make sure that we have done everything. Or before we send them home without a verdict, I need to make sure. So we want to make sure we're doing all the things.
And once again, we would stand by our motion.
To answer my first question, the answer is no. Do you believe further deliberations are like? Then I asked for the current count. I think what they've done is give me the count on, well, I don't know what they've done. They've given me numbers, that don't add up to 12 on 2 of the counts. So I'm going to inquire further. So I just said on these counts, do you have a verdict or what is the math? I not seen this? Okay, they have sent this note that the bell just came to me, says jurors have stated we will have the same result on Monday, no further deliberations are needed. So, based on that, I'm going to declare a mistrial and excuse this jury. If you will get the alternates and let me bring them in and just give them some final instructions, then we'll release them. I don't know what the release is. 13. Hang on to the alternates for me, okay? I think. Ladies and gentlemen, as we've discussed, a verdict in a criminal case needs to be unanimous. As you are unable to reach one, I'm going to declare a mistrial in this case, and this will complete your service for the week. You can leave your buttons behind, leave your notepads in your chairs. You just tear those up and shred them. Nobody's going to read your notes or what have you. The clerk will have a check for you that will have a stub that will prove you were here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for your employer. If you need something additional, you can contact the clerk's office or my office and we'll let you do that. I told you about 50 times not to talk about the case or let anybody talk about it with you. At this point, you may talk about the case if you wish. You're not required to, but often the attorneys may want to know what you found persuasive or didn't find persuasive or what have you. So I always let you know that it is not improper anymore for you to talk to whoever you want to about this case and your service on it. You are, of course, in no way required to do so. Make sure you get all your personal items. Leave me my buttons so I can recycle them for the next group. And Mr. Davis will show you out. Mr. Bob will show you out the back door. Okay? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Just leave them in the seat?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll pick them up.
Do you find them one?
Alright, did we set a date in the other one?
November sometime.
So that's going to be my first available for a retrial. The state will need to decide whether you want to retry this one on those dates or try the charge co-defendant if you're going to retry the matter. Just be thinking about that so we can get scheduled. This is the oldest case on my docket, so I'm going to be pushing to get it retried again, okay?
Will you issue an
All right.
order on the mistrial? Will you issue an order on the
I
mistrial?
will, and I'll do that before I leave. All right, we'll stand in recess. right, and y'all, Miss Montgomery's deserting me, so if you need a transcript, tell her now.
All rise.
Can you make sure she gets out to the court, okay?